All right, this week in the news here in Xbox land. Mitchell.
Yes, sir.
Our old friend Peter Moore, former bad boy boss of Microsoft, all tatted up. Halo 2, Grand Theft Auto 4. Huh.
Yeah, he's got that teardrop tattoo on his cheek. He's got He Hate Me on his knuckles.
From when he slayed Sony back at E306, yo. $599 US.
You weren't kidding when you said we were going to rap about it.
Peter Moore's a charming British man.
He really is.
None of these
actually.
features except the actual Grand Theft Auto 4 tattoo. Is
And
that real?
the He Hate Me knuckle tats.
Is that,
That cannot be a real tattoo. Or the Halo tattoo.
is the GTA?
I guess
the
that does fit. He hate me.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I had to count it out.
Yeah.
What?
Is the GTA 4 tattoo real?
No,
Have we
come
seen
on,
it since-
really?
What do you
Have we
think,
seen it
Mitch?
since? I want it to be real
It's
so
not.
bad. So bad.
No.
So this week, Peter Moore said that console wars are good for the industry. This is his quote. Consumers love it as well, and it's good for the industry. You need powerful companies like Sony and Microsoft to be battling it out with each other because it drives investment in their platforms. It drives competition. I completely agree with that.
Crazy
I
that
think-
someone who runs a third-party company would say that.
Yeah. So I think what he's talking about are two different things. Like the console wars is, in our minds, like the fanboyistic battles over which platform is better and why you should want to buy an Xbox, you Sony pony, blah, blah, blah.
Right, right.
Like that crap is garbage. That helps nobody. But what he's talking about is the competitive edge, right?
Yeah.
One platform doing something that another one can't do. So, and that competitor has to respond and say, okay, how do we do something equal or better to that to get an audience's attention? That's really healthy. I love that.
Yeah, I love
The
that too.
counter argument to that, though. Go ahead,
Counterpoint. No.
No, I'm just saying, like, that's why, to me, like, the heyday of football games were, well, ironically enough, were when, Madden had competition in 2K games.
Of course, the flip side of that, though, are platform exclusives like a Halo or like The Last of Us that are coded to take full... Halo 4 is actually a great example. To take full advantage of the one machine they're designed for.
Yep.
And they are tangibly better games because of that.
Yeah, which I don't know. I'm perfectly fine with having two consoles. Like, I love the idea of two consoles that have two different sets of features, two different sets of games. I just wish it didn't also come with the baggage of having to be online in comment sections.
Of course, the counterpoint to my own counterpoint. I'm arguing with myself. Where, if you look back, if you rewind, where would the PlayStation 3 have been without the Xbox 360? It would have been a $599 console that took forever to become, mainstream because Sony at the time was on some sort of weird drug trip, thinking that anything they did was
This is
the
acceptable.
best thing ever.
I mean, it's been that sort of ebb and flow of companies having to be humbled after having knockout generations.
Yeah,
the
and
PS2 had an incredible generation, and Sony needed to humble after that. The 360 had an incredible generation,
Exactly
and
what I was gonna
Microsoft
say.
has had to humble over the past.
Nintendo's dealing with it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my
Non-stop.
God. Yeah.
Is this news because Peter Moore said it? Because obviously competition is good for the industry. Like, we see what happens with Comcast. They have no competition, and they just don't care anymore. So Sony and Microsoft have competition. Yeah, it seems obvious to me. Why do people read this story and, like, is it because Peter Moore said it?
It is because he's in a position
Influential.
of prominence in the industry, and for you'd almost think you might expect that Peter Moore, a guy like Peter Moore, who's the chief operating officer of EA, the second largest third party publisher after Activision, you'd think maybe he'd say something like, actually, the one console future would be best because then we'd be selling to one massive installed base and could optimize our games for that platform.
Okay.
But yeah, he is instead chosen to say, he's totally all about the competition. But
Yeah. I think we're all in agreement, though. Like,
Yeah.
it's competition is great.
it always is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's you look at what Tesla is doing to the auto industry. People are like, oh,
I thought you were going to talk about Nikola Tesla.
Yeah.
We can talk about him.
he
'Cause
just him too.
Yeah.
Thomas Edison was
Yeah.
all like, what?
Yeah.
I don't know if they even survived, if they were even overlapped.
They were? They did overlap.
They did. That's what I thought. Yeah, that's why I said it. I knew that. Totally knew that.
You have the power to edit all that out.
Wasn't fishing for help at all, I swear. So yeah. And yeah, it's now, as you guys said, the Xbox One. What would it look like without the PlayStation 4 being the cheaper, more powerful console?
They would have launched with all that stuff.
With
that
the
people didn't
DRM
like.
at $499, bundled with Kinect. And yeah, we'd still be.
Well, because like, would people have reacted so negatively if Microsoft was the only platform out there? Because like Sony's offering, they're saying, "Hey, we're off. You don't have to worry about all that. Come join us on our platform." It was just the Microsoft platform. Would people have cared as much? Oh, this is where we're moving because Microsoft's the only thing that's ever existed. It would be a whole different world.
They still messaged it badly. I mean,
they did.
Dredge it up for the 7 millionth time. But yeah, I mean, you do bring up a good point. Would it have been quite the SHIT show had Sony not been there to, knife him in the side
in the ASS? I'm gonna start spelling all I swear.
What if we don't swear? We just spell swears for a segment.
I like that.
Speaking spell,
spell. Cuss and spell.
I'm going to invent that
My
machine.
favorite childhood toy.
Yeah.
Of course, we don't even have like cool big machines for that like we did when we were kids. It's just an app
Dumb
that
phones.
that just talks weird to you.